2020 was a very tough year on small businesses, and I recently spoke with Jim Glassman about a recent survey that was conducted among business leaders about the outlook for 2021 among businesses. Let's take a look.
As the new economic year gets underway and businesses feel the pain and learn lessons from last year's coronavirus pandemic, small business and consumers are planning for 2021. That's according to results of the annual JPMorgan Chase Business Leaders Outlook Survey. Joining us now to discuss the results of the 2021 Business Leaders Outlook Survey is the Managing Director and Head Economist for Commercial Banking at JPMorgan Chase, Jim Glassman. Jim, thanks for spending time with us today.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
2020 was undoubtedly a challenging year. So how are business leaders feeling as we enter 2021?
Well, they're feeling more hopeful, and I find that really quite interesting because if you think about it, the real upheaval last year was born by small business community, the hospitality sector, the entertainment venues, amusement parks, symphonies, and this survey is covering business leaders who operate in that environment, and what they're telling us is they're much more hopeful about 2021. And I think it's not a mystery why this is so, because we've all known the problem, it really is the pandemic, and to manage the burden on our hospitals, we have to ask certain sectors to shut down, turn out the lights. And so if you're a restaurant or a bar or a fitness center or symphony, amusement venue, I mean, life is very difficult. So what this survey is telling you is those folks who are running businesses, they are survivors, for one thing. They've learned how to make do with technology options, and they know fundamentally the most important reason I think behind this optimism about 2021 is they know that the vaccines are now, we have some very effective vaccines underway, we're vaccinating the population. It's not going to be long before we start to see that it's starting to get a grip on the spread of the disease, and when that happens, we'll be able to lift restrictions on a lot of communities, which will allow people to go back to the jobs they had.
It sounds like there's cautious optimism grounded in new reality. What are some of the most important lessons that business leaders learned from navigating the past year, and how will that impact the way they run their businesses going forward?
Yeah, I mean, what they learned was if you're going to stay in business, you've got to learn how to use electronic commerce. There's a lot of digital options in contactless payment systems. They've learned that if you can figure out the technology, which has been getting developed over the years, you can manage events like this much better. So I think it was, there's a lot of important lessons people have learned, and the folks in our survey who have learned to shift more to electronic commerce are the ones that are really surviving. And we know that the consumer sector is really doing quite well, but it's online shopping that's really driving a lot of this.
Right, and so as businesses increase use of digital finance and e-commerce tools, that was such an important development in 2020, and do you expect this to continue into the year ahead?
Yeah, I think when new things are happening, we're always slow to embrace it, but when you run into a shock like what we have, and you're forced to adapt this stuff and figure it out just to survive, you realize how valuable it is. And I think that's the important thing that we're getting from this once you figure it out, you realize there's a lot of great benefits. So I think what's happening is this crisis is just going to be accelerating the trends that have been going on for a while as we migrate into the digital arena.
And what do businesses anticipate as their top challenges for 2021?
I mean, you won't be surprised. The near-term challenge is just survive, right? And so that means continue to learn and embrace the digital options and get through the next several months until we got more and more of the population vaccinated. And then when you go further down the road, I think we're going to start to hear more and more from this business community, as we have been in our surveys. You're going to hear more and more talk about trying to find people for a bunch of vacant jobs. We have a very large part of our population that's aging, retiring, and it's opening up a lot of job opportunities, and businesses have been having a hard time finding people to fill those jobs. You might think that's odd because we got a lot of people unemployed who work at restaurants, bars, fitness centers. They don't have the skills, though, for where the job needs are, and that's the problem we have right now. So my guess is that's always been, for a number of years, a key challenge for the business community. I think that they still cite that as an important challenge looking further down the road.
So a positive outlook as far as jobs in 2021. Where can we get more information and read the survey results and find out more about everything we've talked about?
So Christine, folks can find more detail from this JPMorgan Chase survey of business leaders if you go online and type jpmorgan.com/business leaders outlook.
It sounds like a lot of positivity and many lessons learned as we head into 2021. Thank you so much, Jim Glassman, for joining us today to talk us through this and give us some hope, especially with the small business world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There is a lot of hope.
There is a lot of hope.